Hi guys, this is George back here with another video and welcome to the 12th episode here working in World of Adventure in Planets Coaster, my World's Fair theme park with lots of different areas that are themed to different countries around the world. So in this video you're actually going to see a couple of different projects get started off. So you can see me here starting on my dark ride that's going to be in the Swiss themed area. This is going to be a boat ride and I'll talk more about the story of that once I start actually building the ride system. And I'm also going to start on my next themed area as well in this episode, which is going to be my Italian themed area. And you'll see the coaster get built for that later in this video. But here we go. You can see this boat ride going in just here. So this is going to be quite a short ride. However, the idea with this is that it's not really about the length of it. It's more about how the ride system is going to interact with the story. So the story of this ride is you're going to start in this weather research facility and you're going to go out into the mountains to go and view this snowstorm. However, it turns out the snowstorm is a lot more dangerous than anticipated and you need to escape. Basically, you need to get off the mountain, and that's where the drop plays in. So the idea of this drop is like it's a slope of the mountain and the snow is going to be coming in really bad. Your original pathway is going to be blocked off by the snow. You can't get through. You need to find another escape. You find this slope in the mountain and you need to slide down it to escape the storm, basically, and get back to the research facility to safety. So that's the idea of this ride. Quite short, as I said. However, I do like the idea of this ride and I'm looking forward to kind of building it. However, the reason why I have decided to start on my next themed area before this one is finished is because I did just want a bit of a break building the Swiss area. I've been building it for quite a long time. Of course, the last couple episodes, I've been building some big attractions. The log flume I built in the last episode, and then I built the B&M Hypercoaster in the last episode. But off camera, I've also been doing a lot of work around this area, placing lots of rocks in, doing lots of work on the terrain and all of that stuff. I've decided that it's time for a break from the Swiss areas and I want to start something new. So I've started off with my Italian themed area. I'm going to complete that and then I'm going to come back to the Swiss area at another time because it's just important to kind of have a break from things sometimes. I feel like I wasn't getting very much enjoyment out of building this Swiss area anymore. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to start something new, something a bit different. I'm going to build that, and then I'm going to come back to this area at another time when I'm going to enjoy building it. Because I don't know, it just like it felt a bit like it felt a bit like a chore coming to build this area at this point. So I thought, let's start on something new, and I went to build the Italian themed area, which is an area I've been looking forward to building. And the coaster that I build in this episode I've been planning for a long time. I planned lots of designs for it off camera. I decided on one that I liked, and then I kind of expanded on that one even more with the one that I ended up building in this one. So you'll see that get built later on. But here we go. You can see me just outlining the size of the show building just here for this ride. The walls are going in just here, and you'll see me separate off all the different scenes in a minute as well. So there's going to be a few different scenes on this ride. Not loads. It's going to be kind of a couple of big scenes on this ride that you're going to keep going through. So you're going to start in the research facility. You're going to go through there into this village at the base of the mountain. You're then going to go up the mountain to look at the storm, slide down the mountain, back into the village, and back to safety, basically, back to the research facility, which is where you're going to end your ride experience. I don't know how I'm going to make the end of this ride. I feel like I might, I'm debating with the village scene at the bottom of the drop. I don't know if I want to make it so you slide down the drop and the storm has destroyed the village, or if it's going to be a happy ending. Either way, I haven't decided if I want it to be a sad ending or a happy ending just yet. I've been thinking maybe I could make the so the village is destroyed. That way, it's going to make it a bit different from the other thing because I'm worried it might get a bit repetitive, just like research facility, village, mountain, village, research facility. It kind of mirrors off each other, doesn't it? So I was thinking if the village is destroyed, that's going to make it a bit different from the first scene going through the village. I might do that as part of the story. So the storm kind of destroys this village. It's a sad ending. You need to get back to the research facility. You're safe, but the village is destroyed, kind of thing. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm going to do with that just yet. So that's another reason why I decided to take a bit of a break from the Swiss area. So then I could just kind of think about this ride a bit more, think about the story of it and what I want to do. And because I don't want to, I don't want to kind of build something that I regret, and then I'm like, I wish I did this differently. I wish I did it this way. I wish I did it that way. With this, I can now take a bit of time to think about this, think about how I want it, and then I can build it how I want it, and then the finished product will be how I want it to be, rather than me kind of finishing it and then like, oh, I wish I did this now, and I kind of want to do it like that, and but it'll be too late by that point. So that's another reason why I decided to take a break from building the Swiss area for now. Here we go. You can see that I'm just raising up the platform in this scene. The reason because this boat ride system is quite high up from the ground, and if the theming was all on the ground, you won't see it very well. So I thought if I raise up these platforms, then I can put all the theming on there, and you're going to see it a lot better. So that's just for the visuals of it. So you don't have to kind of look down to see all the theming, and that way it'll make the building look really empty as well. So I thought I'll just raise it up like that so you can see it properly. Here we go. You can see the pathway going in just here as well. There's the exit path for the attraction, and then the queue line is going to go in as well. With the terrain, you probably noticed as well, there's still a massive hill in the middle of the show building. That's where the mountain's going to be. So I've decided to keep that hill in place and then build the rock work around that. Normally, when I build mountains like this, I'll build the terrain up and then use that as an outline to place the rocks around it. That just makes it a lot easier. So yeah, that hill will eventually be covered in rocks as if you're going up this snowy, rocky mountain. You can see me placing a bit of snow there as well. So that whole area will be covered in panels of snow. Here we go. You can see me starting on this coaster now. So this is a Mack multi-launch roller coaster. This is going to feature 3 launches, multiple airtime moments, no inversions though. This is going to be a family thrill roller coaster. I didn't want to do a massive thrill coaster with this because we've already got a big wooden coaster. We've already got a big B&M hyper coaster. And yes, we have got a couple of family coasters. However, there are going to be some more big coasters getting built later on in the series. So I thought with this one, let's do a family coaster. Originally, I was thinking of doing a really a proper family coaster. But then I thought, actually, do you know what? I want to make something a bit more thrilling. So I started off when I first started making designs for this ride. I started up like it very rarely kind of came high off the ground. It would have a couple of slow launches that would kind of keep you going. It was kind of on the scale of Penguin Trek at SeaWorld Orlando, if you've seen that, like a really family friendly launch coaster, kind of like your first launch coaster, something that's not too intense that everyone would be able to experience. But then I thought, you know what? I want to make something a bit more thrilling. I want something, maybe some bigger airtime hills, some more punchy launches, some more whippy transitions. So that's what I end up doing. You can see there's some wave turns on here, lots of airtime moments where you get some big airtime pops, some quite aggressive airtime pops on this ride. Some good ejector airtime on this ride. 3 launches on here as well, and it's going to interact with the terrain as well. So there's going to be a bit, half of it is going to be over a lake, and then the first section and the last section are going to be interacting with the terrain a lot. Here we go. You can see me just working on the brake run just here. So with this brake run, you'll see that I actually spend a bit of time trying to sort out the block section on here, which wasn't working. I'm not really sure why. I don't know what was going on with it or what I was doing wrong. However, in the end, I decided I'd just make a bigger station so then I could operate on 2 trains. Because I mean, I could have had one of the launches as a block section. However, I decided I don't really want to do that because then if that was a block section, then it would have a really long runoff at the end and it might look a bit weird. So I thought, you know what? I'll just have a longer station and a shorter runoff for the brake run. So then, I don't know, it just kind of fits in better, I feel like. I mean, I could have added another airtime hill, but there might not have been enough space for that. So I thought I'll just make the station longer, and you can see that there. And that way it makes the station building look a bit more interesting as well, because I have a bit more space to kind of play around with different designs for for it. So you'll see the station building get built at the end of this episode. But for now, you can see me smoothing out the layout. Of course, I've talked about the whippy transitions on here. I want it to be nice and smooth. 1 minute you're going to be facing one way, and then you're going to get whipped to the other side. So it needs to be nice and smooth. This is something that everyone's going to be able to experience. A family thrill, multi-launch roller coaster. that's going to be kind of your first big launch coaster. So I want it to be nice and smooth, nice and enjoyable with this one, but also still thrilling, which I think it is. I think it's turned out pretty much exactly how I wanted it. So I'm really happy with it. Exactly how I wanted it to be. So here we go, just watching it there, just making sure it has the right speed going right through all of the layer elements there. And there we go, just moving it there as well. Originally, I just built it over there so I'd have more space, and then decided I'd move it to exactly where I wanted it once the layout was done. But here we go, you can see me working on the terrain now at the start of the ride. And then here's the water going in. So this is kind of the midpoint of the ride. So all of this section is over the water. And then after the third launch, you'll go back to the terrain layouts. Here we go, you can see some more terrain work going on just here. I'm really happy with this layout as well. Very different style layout with this, with some really unique kind of elements and banking on here. I think this would be a lot of fun to ride. So there we go. You can see all of the terrain going there. More water just coming out to this part of the layout. Here we go. You can see the terrain was already kind of like how it needed to be for the water. That's just how it came when I loaded up this sandbox plot. But here we go. You can see me roughening the terrain a bit. It looked a bit flat before, so just making it look a bit more realistic, a bit more rough around the edges. And then you can see me painting the terrain just here as well to make it look a bit more of a Mediterranean kind of look to it, because of course you wouldn't necessarily have perfectly green grass in the Mediterranean kind of area with the sun there all the time and the heat, the climate. You might expect there to be some dead grass or the grass to be a bit brown. So I decided I'll paint the terrain to give it that kind of look, to make it look a bit more realistic and a bit different to the rest of the areas as well. Here we go. You can see the station building just here as well. This is still a work in progress. I built the front of the station, however, I haven't done the back and sides just yet. But here we go. This is what I was talking about with making it a bigger station building. As I have more space to work with, I thought I'll make half of the building a bit taller than the other. So it's like there's another level at this point. I did try to change the block section again, but it just wasn't working. So I thought, right, that's it. I'm just keeping it the way it is now. Here we go. You can see the roof going in just here as well. Proper classic looking Mediterranean kind of buildings. I've taken a lot of inspiration from the Mediterranean area at Portaventura with this building, and there'll be lots more buildings like this around this area. This is going to be kind of phase one of my Italian themed area. In the next episode, I'll be building a rapids attraction, which will be phase two. That's going to have a different theme to this. So the theme with this ride is that you're in a vineyard. You're in this wine factory, which is the station. You're going to go for a tour of this vineyard, but things go a bit wrong. That's the idea of this ride. So you're going to go into that show section. There's going to be a machine that explodes, and the power of that explosion is like what's going to launch you out of the building, and things are going to go a bit crazy. Basically, that's the idea of this ride. Here we go, just tidying up this building now, making it look a bit better because it is a bit messy, changing some of the windows around, and that is pretty much the end of this video here. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to follow me on Instagram at George Kelly and follow me on Twitter at George Kelly. Thank you very much for watching. Stay safe, everyone, and I will see you all later. Bye.